Fox 5 News at 6 starts right now.
And we begin tonight with the weather. This is a live look through our Georgia power cam. Relatively mild, a layer of thin clouds. But this weekend, North Georgia could see colder temperatures, rain, and possible snow. So good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Fox 5 Storm Team Chief Meteorologist David Chandley has been keeping an eye on all these changes. David?
Yeah, no real surprise in what we've been anticipating is going to happen here toward the end of the week and on into the weekend. Other than in extreme North Georgia, they may get a little bit of light snow, and we'll show you that here in just a moment. Just a cool rain for metro Atlanta. Dry out there now. We're looking at readings there in the low and the mid 50s. Yeah, after the morning rain, we saw some sunshine. The clouds filtered back in here, and eventually the clouds will move out briefly before they come back tomorrow. So the front's through us right now. Well, to our south, we see some wet weather, and that's what's going to be trying to come our direction here overnight and through the day tomorrow. So let's break it down for you. We have a winter storm watch in effect for these counties shaded up here in the blue up in northeast Georgia: Rabun, Habersham, White, Towns, Union, Lumpkin, Fannin, and Gilmer County. Those are the only ones under the winter storm watch, including Clay County, North Carolina. What we're looking for, the possibility of some heavy wet snow accumulating 1, maybe as much as 3 inches in some spots in the high elevations, certainly above 1,800 feet. So that's really out of the towns of Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville. We're talking about up in the mountains. So here's the timeline of all this. As I said, clear sky tonight and early tomorrow morning. It is going to be chilly, but no precipitation. By the time the rain starts rolling in here, we have temperatures in the 40s. That's going to be Saturday afternoon. Then we'll have to watch for the changeover late Saturday afternoon and really Saturday night up in northeast Georgia. But rain for the bulk of the viewing audience for sure, right on into Saturday night and early Sunday morning. And we're going to find the possibility of some light snow right along the ridge line here, well up into North Georgia. Heavier snowfall totals up in the mountains of North Carolina. Now we're going to see here the metro area rain, probably about 1/4 to 1/2 inch in a lot of spots right on into early Sunday morning. And then Sunday, the rest of the day looks pretty nice. We'll talk more about that as well as big temperature changes next week. That's coming your way in a few minutes.
All right, David, thanks. Meeting high demand. That is what a new massive COVID-19 vaccination site in Gwinnett County aims to do as officials work to immunize people more quickly. Dozens received the highly coveted COVID doses today at Gwinnett Place Mall. That is where we find Fox 5's Angelique Proctor, who joins us live now. And Angelique, we spoke to a woman who received her second dose of the vaccine.
That's right, Courtney. She was a healthcare worker who comes in contact with hundreds of patients and knew it was best for her to have the vaccine. Now, beginning tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we expect this entire parking lot to be full.
I am glad to have, hopefully, a little bit of a defense against this thing.
Dental assistant Martha Lynch is doing all she can to fight the deadly coronavirus. She admits she had some reservations, but received her second dose of the Pfizer vaccine Friday, here at the massive Gwinnett County site in the old Sears building.
Is it really right there? Will it really work? Is it going to cause more harm than good? Is it going to make me sick?
When it comes to the coronavirus, Gwinnett has a dubious distinction.
Gwinnett County is leading in cases, and we are number 2 in deaths. And having a mass site like this will allow us to administer up to 3,000 vaccinations per day.
All vaccination appointments must be made online. To date, Gwinnett County has inoculated more than 25,000 seniors and healthcare workers. But based on the data, there is still a lot more work to do.
We have over 100,000 seniors over 65 years old, and so it's going to take a minute to get everyone vaccinated.
County officials believe this expandable space will allow them to meet the county's high demand.
This is a centralized location within our county. It's a perfect location, easily accessible for multiple modes of transportation.
And we cannot stress enough, you have to make an appointment online. They have turned away several people who have just walked up, many people coming by to talk with us, but you have to do it online. We're going to have that on our website. Reporting live in Gwinnett County, Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Angelique, thanks. Wherever you happen to live across North Georgia, we have information about how to get the coronavirus vaccine in your area on our website. Just go to fox5atlanta.com/vaccine for more information.
Well, President Biden made his case today for why Americans need another nearly $2 trillion in coronavirus relief. And the president said while he'd prefer bipartisanship, he'll do it without Republican support if he has to. President Biden pointed to new Labor Department data that shows just 49,000 jobs were added last week, a sign of weak economic growth as the pandemic drags on. Republicans say $1.9 trillion is too expensive and that billions of dollars are still unspent from previous relief packages.
I'd like to be doing it with the support of Republicans. I've met with Republicans. There's some really fine people who want to get something done, but they're just not willing to go as far as I think we have to go.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the relief bill is on track to pass long before March 15th, when expanded unemployment insurance and other pandemic-related programs expire.
Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene blasted Democrats a day after being removed from her committee assignments. Representative Greene's remarks outside the Capitol came a day after she was stripped of 2 committee assignments during a vote on Thursday. Before the vote, she told lawmakers she regrets remarks she made before taking office. She says it's more of a gift than a punishment for her past statements.
None of us are perfect. And when we go about our life thinking that we are, we're such hypocrites. Truthfully, we really are. If we think we're perfect and can judge one another, that's such a mistake. So going forward, I've been freed.
Representative Greene says she will work to further former President Trump's agenda in Congress.
It has been a little more than 2 weeks now since newly elected U.S. Senator Sen Oshoff took the oath of office. This week, the Georgia Democrat sat down with Fox 5's Claire Sims for the first time since his win in the runoff a month ago today, January 5th, the day before the insurrection. She reports tonight on Oshoff's priorities as Congress works to pass another COVID-19 relief package.
This is what I've been working on hardest for the last week.
In just his short time in the U.S. Senate, Democrat Sen Oshoff says he's tried to build support for direct payments to smaller cities and counties as part of the upcoming COVID-19 relief bill. Senator Oshoff is one of the co-sponsors of the Direct Support for Communities Act. Under the original CARES Act, federal funding only went to local governments with a population of more than 500,000 people. Money for smaller communities like Athens, Savannah, and Augusta went to the state to distribute.
We have a lot of smaller cities, municipalities. They deserve and need direct federal support to sustain public health and public safety and public education. And right now, I am championing this legislation to make sure that our communities get the help that they need.
Early Friday morning, Vice President Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote to approve a budget resolution that paves the way for President Biden's $1.9 trillion relief bill to move forward. Meanwhile, the Senate is also preparing for the impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. Senator Oshoff says he will weigh the charges against the 45th president impartially.
And I won't render judgment until I've seen all the evidence, considered historical precedent, and then I'll make a decision based upon the facts at hand, putting partisanship aside and thinking just about what my job is as a juror in the Senate trial.
The impeachment trial is set to begin February 9th. Claire Sims, Fox 5 News.
Now to an ITeam Exclusive. The Newton County manager has asked the Georgia Coroner's Training Council to remove the county's newly elected coroner from office. Dorothy Bailey Butts had been in office only 29 days when the request was made. The manager cites, among other things, the coroner's refusal to transport a body from a deadly accident scene. Senior ITeam reporter Dale Russell has the details.
January 22nd. In Newton County on Highway 212, a car left the roadway, drove through a ditch for 507 feet, then traveled back onto the highway and hit another car head on. This according to a Newton County Sheriff's report. The newly elected Newton County coroner arrived at the scene of the deadly car wreck. According to Sheriff's Department reports, Coroner Dorothea Bailey Butts took a couple of photos of the deceased, left a body bag on the trunk of the deceased car, and then told police she was leaving without transporting the body.
You don't have a van?
Oh, I don't transport.
The deputies were not happy.
You're leaving a fatality? Okay.
According to the report, Sheriff Ezell Brown was notified by police, and after the sheriff called Dorothea Bailey Butts, the newly elected coroner agreed to transport the body.
I, Dorothea Bailey Butts, swear or affirm that I will well and truly serve the state of Georgia
Bailey Butts has been on the job a little over 1 month. She was recently sworn in as Newton County's newest coroner after she won an election against a 12-year veteran. She had high hopes for the job. But by initially refusing to transport a body from the accident site, Miss Bailey Butts has found herself in the middle of a growing controversy.
Who has the responsibility to transport the body?
In the state of Georgia, that falls on the coroner's office.
Mark Savage is president of the Georgia Coroners Association. He says by law, it is up to the coroner to transport a body from the scene of an accident, a homicide or a suicide.
Why is this important for the coroner?
There could be possible evidence on that body, and that chain of custody of that body is very important.
The Fox 5 I-Team has learned that auto accident is one of many issues spelled out in this petition to remove the coroner from office, filed by the Newton County manager and sent to the Georgia Coroners Training Council. In the petition, County Manager Lloyd Kerr accused the new coroner of indicating she would not be transporting bodies, and he was upset about comments she made at a county commission meeting.
It will break somebody hard, what I'm holding in my hand.
Lloyd Kerr wrote in his removal petition, during that commission meeting, Miss Bailey Butts was asking for budget increases and held up an envelope and said she had information to take Covington down.
And if I open up this envelope, I will shut Covington down.
In his petition, the county manager called it an act of extortion. Kerr also wrote that the new coroner hired 3 deputy chief coroners without informing the county. And he wrote she mishandled a suicide and a death in a local hotel that took some 3+ hours to remove the body. We emailed Dorothea Bailey Butts to ask her about the petition and ask her what was in that envelope she held up at the commission meeting. She responded, the envelope contains information, the disclosure of which would be an invasion of personal privacy and are not required to be released. She declined our request for an interview. Dale Russell, Fox 5 News.
Several local law enforcement agencies are working to better their relationship with communities. More on that story coming up.
I'm Morris Diggs. What's more scarce than toilet paper? Well, the almost empty ammo bins here at the Cobb County Adventure Outdoor Store. Coming up, we're going to look at record gun sales in January and what's behind it. Just ahead.